It's not that difficult. It's very intuitive to use. And let me show you, for example. Let's go here. Here's the basic Blackmagic screen. They're like any other Windows program. It's got menus at the top. It's got a summary grid with all of the information that I deem pertinent about a race in the top. And in this window here, it has a full featured past performance. Big breakthrough. In the past, I remember in the early days of handicapping programs, you used to have to input by hand, and I always had a printed past performance, and then I would type in the information. And even with later software, the past performances that appeared as part of the software never looked like a past performance, never looked like this. You can personalize this past performance just like you can personalize Post Time Daily 2. Take a look at all the personalizations. Just like in Post Time Daily 2, you can personalize for early pace and on the lead and so forth. And you can scroll right through the horses and see in a moment how many horses have been on the lead. The program will be sure to tell you that the PPs are filtered and the current PP filters are on the lead. You see that down here, and that the big red letters, it's filtered, PPs are filtered. You can take all of the filters off at the click of a button. But here's where Blackmagic shines. All of that's neat, and I love seeing and handicapping, so I have all of my numbers and my form cycle, and I'll show you some of the features of this form cycle window. Again, I don't know how I'm going to get through everything that this great program does in such a short amount of time, but let me show you this. This is the race list. Now, of course, just like Post Time Daily, and Post Time Daily 2, that is, this was a big breakthrough. You can, and it's very obvious, you can sort by track, so it's alphabetical. Turfway comes after Tampa Bay, comes after Sunland, comes after Santa Anita, and so forth. But I've noticed that at the racebook, they don't go alphabetically. They go by the time of day, so you can sort by post time. But I'm still left with 129 races. Now, what do? Do I start at 9:25 with the first at Tampa and work my way through the first at Aqueduct, the first at Laurel, to the bitter end till I get to the 10th race at Houston, Sam Houston Race Park? Well, that's one way of going. Or I can specialize by using the same principles that Wall Street investors use, which is portfolios. And I know in past seminars, I've urged handicappers to find their own favorite portfolios, whether it's to find lone early horses or heavy pressure horses or five-star reversers or something that catches their fancy that they can relate to. How do you do that? You have to handicap every race on every card to find the opportunities. No more. This is a new age of handicapping. This is handicapping, truly handicapping, in the information management age. And this is the tool that does it, I believe, most elegantly. Come here and take a look at this little section here called My Portfolios. If you click on here, you will see that there are a number of portfolios. Power pairs, heavy pressure by position, heavy pressure by velocity, lone early by position, lone early by velocity, five-star reversers. Now, all of these will be familiar to most of you who have studied my handicapping teaching. If not, all of it is covered in the Blackmagic intensive DVDs that comes along with the Blackmagic Ultimate Handicapper software. Third start layoff and form patterns, pattern gaps, one named after my dear friend Bob Harris, his Fast and Simple portfolio, Group 1 Value Tech, turf gaps, top cluster reversals, turf routes, ugly maiden races, vulnerable favorites, and yes, 10-cent superfecta races. Now, without going into great detail about what all of these are, think about these as specializations. So let's say out of the 129 races that ran, where are we on? I have it open to January 4th because I was working on this day of races for the DVDs. January 4th, and I want to see all the heavy pressure velocity races in North America. Well, guess what? I've taken those 129 races and I have gotten it down to 17 races. Now, in heavy pressure races, and that means where there's a lot of velocity early horses in the race, usually this will favor a horse coming from off the pace. But then again, how out of 129 races do we know which ones are heavy pressure without going through every past performance of every racetrack? And, it's extremely tedious. Here we have a nice, tidy list of 17 races. Now, I remember this day because I had a couple of very, very nice heavy pressure horses. Now, let's say I remember the first race at Hawthorne, and I've got this sorted by an odds line. Now, this is a very sophisticated odds line in which there are a whole number of factors that I have been working on, well, literally for years. It's a nonlinear line. It's got an odds bias in it. I'm going to show you what all these numbers mean and all. But I was looking in this race, for example, for a nice closing style horse. Now, Black Magic has several ways of finding closing horses. It's got the position pointer, and this is a feature which is also in the Master Magician. You're looking for lower to higher, so that 3 goes a little bit. The 6 goes from 51 to 44. It's got a brand new acupressure, which those of you who are familiar with the Master Handicapper, this was one of the best features. It's called Acupressure V2 now. This is a completely new version, completely retooled, but it will point out some of the velocity pressures in a race, make an assessment of the race as highly pressured, show you who the closers are. You will note that now there are 2 different ways of looking at the pressure scenarios in a race, one by position and one by velocity. This is an important breakthrough because what I found was the Master Magician did things primarily by position with velocity being secondary. Master Handicapper did things primarily by velocity with position secondary. Now these are brought together. And when these coalesce, when you see heavy pressure, you can be pretty sure that the closers should do well. There's a brand new feature called timelines, which is basically an assessment of all of the best first call fractions, second call fractions, and turn time or second fractions in the race. And of course, I go through showing you how to use each of these tools in the various types of races. There is a new value tech. Those of you who are familiar with the Master Magician know that the numerical translation of find a horse that you like that the public shouldn't means that the odds line should be lower than the contention line. And it's showing the 3 horse going from 3 to 1 here on the odds to 7 to 1 on the contention. There's this horse, the 6, going from 6 to 1 to 12 to 1, but it's a little out of the random range, but still, it was one of the closers in the race. In fact, it was the only one that we saw on the position pointer. There is a new exotic pattern, so you don't forget any of the juicy exotic patterns that might be lurking in the race. And there is APV, which is a measure of class, a counter early and counter late. The fulcrum is there, and the reversal winner or winners are there. The fulcrum horse is listed here. It is also bolded in the summary grid. There is an assessment of the favorite. So here, the morning line favorite, the 1 or the fulcrum, is vulnerable because it's an early horse, and it will show you it has the wrong running style. Now, just that, knowing there's a vulnerable favorite in the race, is extremely valuable. Not only that, but if you noticed on the portfolio, there's a whole portfolio for vulnerable favorites. So you can go through an entire day of races and look at the races which might have a vulnerable favorite. Does that mean the vulnerable favorites don't win? No, they win. What it does mean is this is a horse that the public is probably going to bet, and it has some potential weaknesses, which may make betting the other horses in the race a good value bet. See, the whole purpose of all of this information is to find good value bets and to do it in a way that doesn't exhaust you, and to do it in the quickest, easily, most effective way possible. And that is with Black Magic. So the reason I remembered this race, it's got now we have a full featured results, so that when you download your results, and I'll show you downloading is such a cinch with the program, you can, it'll look like a results chart. And here is an example of this horse coming from off the pace and paying $43. Now remember, that wasn't as spectacular as the race at Delta Downs, which after one of my marathon days working on Black Magic, I looked at this race. I saw that there were 3 closers by eye. How did I do it by eye? Very simple. I scrolled through the past performances and I looked for the closers. And just by eye, as I went up, I said, well, the 6 can certainly close. The 5 closes a little, and the 8 certainly closes. And I noticed there's a running style evaluation. There were 3 sustained horses in the race, and those were the 3 sustained horses which I'm looking for in a highly pressured, and this is pressured, highly pressured. There's a horse here. One of the closers was a reversal winner in a 3rd start layoff, and those of you who know my work know I call those 5-star reversers. This race would also show up in that portfolio here. When we click it, and you see 5-star reversers. There are a bunch of 5-star reversers. There's that Delta 5th race again. And when I looked at the acupressure screen, I saw that there were 4 closers. My 5, 6, and 8 were there. I didn't have to do very much else. The 6 and the 5 were value tech horses. I knew, well, now this was, you don't see like this, but what excited me was that the 6 horse came storming off the pace to pay $45.60. And the 9 was one of the closers, but to be honest with you, I was really all over the 5, 8, 6 exact and trifecta box. The 8 got 3rd at 11-1, and the 5 got 4th. But this isn't about, and I'm not here to show off, how clever I am about the races, but I want to show you how easy it is to manage your information. About the most difficult thing is remembering to go back to all races, so you have all the races back in your list. Here's one that just opened, and it's sorted by the odds, and 3-1 and 3-1 over even money. The point of that is that I've never had a handicapping tool that will not only point out these bombs like that one at Delta, but will also point out fairly obvious horses that, a handicapping program really should point to. So this is a great mix of having both. Let me show you some of the new features that I've never seen on a handicapping program. First of all, the form cycle window now includes, again, as I said, a full featured form cycle. And over here, it will have the typical variant. This column will have all of your PBS ratings. This column, all of your PPF ratings, and those are reflected up here in PBS and PPF. There are now the ultimate pace ratings. The master pace, which is a composite of the various component pace ratings. Master pace, there is a primary pace, or a second call, early pace, if you will, and those are listed here and here. There is an early late rating, which is akin to the old sustained pace. There is a late fraction, and again, you can see every one of the master pace, primary pace, early, late, and late fractions right in the form cycles. A percentage early is shown, and I'll explain for those of you not familiar with those numbers what all of them mean. Now, if looking at fractional numbers give you a headache, there is a simplified version. One of the great features of Blackmagic is that it will, you can customize it any way you want. There are so many preferences. In fact, I spend an entire DVD on preferences. You like layoffs being other than 45 days? Fine, do that. You always want to use computed odds? Fine. You like to use my preferences? Great. If not, change them. On these ratings, I'm using the TMH style ratings. I want to use simple ratings, and I'll click on simple ratings. With PBS, I want no variant adjustment. And then when I click, those numbers now change. And if you notice, for these ultimate pace ratings, master pace is now in this expressed as 150.5. Primary pace, early late, late fraction are listed in numbers that are akin to speed ratings, if you will, with 1 point per length. And some people find those easier to look at. Just depends. I've been looking at feet per second numbers forever, so they really sing to me. I know what they mean. What else am I not showing you? That's a big thing in the form cycle window, and that form cycle window is sortable. I showed you these features down here. Again, I'm so excited. I got so much in this program. I don't know where to start without talking a mile a minute, but I didn't think that just the printed word would do this program justice, so you can see just how elegant it is and just how efficient it is at finding things. I know something that many of you asked for was the reversals. And here you can see there's a reversal column, reversal 1 and reversal 2, the reversal winner rather, and the reversal horse. Gee, I've got to show you a race. It was from October, and Mountaineer, October 9th. I remember this because I happen to have I was just going through my desk and I happen to have the tickets. And there was just one reversal which kind of popped out. Yeah, I just opened this race. It was a heavy pressure race. There wasn't much in the way of pressure. This horse looked a little late to me, even though he was ugly in 30-1 morning line. But he was reversing with the 4. And, that's one of my favorite little patterns. But this allowed me to spot it right away. And yeah, you don't usually see $100 horses. I know it's a spectacular thing. Look, bread and butter, I find $9 horses all the time, and that's my bread and butter. But I wanted to show you, I have a little tickets. I made tiny little bets on this race because I was still experimenting with an earlier version. It's much more refined now. And the 8 horse won that race. Oh, that wasn't the Turfway. This is a Mountaineer. I'll show you that race later. But the 8 and the 10, and I took little $2 exactas, the 4-8, and the exacta paid $496. I took the 8-4 straight, and I took little win bets. I may have had some other tickets on this race. I don't remember. But there's an example of, with very, very tiny bets, taking out very nice because of the ability to manage the information. Let's go back, and you see how easy it is to scroll through. If you were to go through to a day where there aren't any races, there are on January 2nd. I don't know when I wouldn't have races. How about January 1st? If I wanted to download, I would just download the past performances. It will show me an entire list. I can select them all, and at the click of a button, it will just download all there. They're all downloaded. They're all getting imported for you. One of the things that I'm going to make available to Black Magic wizards, if you will, we're going past magician to wizard, is a forum, is a support forum where you'll be able to ask questions, hear audio MP3s of me, get videos from me every month at a very nominal cost. But those of you who are on the forums getting that kind of support and have Black Magic will have the opportunity at a very modest price, less than anyone else in the industry, to get unlimited data, meaning all of your past performances and all of your results charts for the recent ones, the ones in the past 2, 3, 4 weeks. If you want to download your results charts, look here. You just click on results chart, click all. I have these already loaded, so it's showing me that. And there they are, but it's just that fast. Let's go back to January 4th. Here we are. Now, one of the features that took a long, long time was getting all of the advanced form patterns in. Those of you who have studied my work know that there are type 1 patterns, type 2 patterns, type 3 patterns, type 1 pluses. I've added a couple of secret patterns called, and it's secret because I haven't spoken about it yet, and I'm not going to say a whole lot about it now, the power pairs and beaten pairs. Something which I found, which when I was able to confirm worked with these ultimate pace ratings, especially with the master pace rating, confirmed to me that I had an absolutely workable, solid measurement of a thoroughbred horse's performance. And I would stand behind these ratings as being the best rating of a horse's performance anywhere. As I said, these were based loosely, well, not loosely, they were based on the master handicapper ratings, which up to that date was the best that I was able to produce. And people were asking for updates on that, and I kept telling them, I haven't been able to make them better. I haven't been able to make them better. Well, through the dint of years now of hard work, I can safely say that they are better, and I never thought I'd ever say that. There will be the opportunity, by the way, and you see this is you can import results charts, you can archive. There will be track performance pars, and you'll be able to update those. Your printouts are all completely customizable. You can have them, and I was showing you my preferences. You can have your printouts show as much as you want, as little as you want, and in whatever order you want. You can choose to show all of these patterns, advanced form cycle patterns, advanced form patterns, and the secondary patterns, or not, as you like it, depending on how cluttered you want. If you would like to change your display settings, if you don't like a color of something, you can go and change it. And I will show you in the instructional DVDs in the Black Magic Intensive exactly how to use all of those settings. And don't worry, there are also presets for you. And I'll show you the specific preset that I use personally in my work. This is the odds line that I like to use. Now, it's taken me a while to winnow all of this down. So that is going to be a very interesting instruction for you to see. Form cycle windows, you can exclude. If you don't like colonial 5.5 furlong races on the turf, you can exclude that and not see it. You can have the ratings look the way you want. You can set a definition for what a gap is. You can use my odds line weighting preferences or have a more standard. Of course, I'm partial to mine. You can, as I said, define your layoffs, define how you would like aberrancy checking and turf lines and dirt race. Again, don't get overwhelmed. There's a lot here, but there are also always safety valves. And in the instructional intensive, I will show you exactly how to use all of that. But, you know, one of the most exciting things for me is having all of the advanced form patterns all completely automated. Now, part of the reason that I'm still going to suggest that you keep at this and don't stop practicing is that, look, this is a stupid computer. Even though I love my computer and I love the laptop on which I work, you still have to use some judgment. Sometimes you'll say, that doesn't really look like a type 2, or that doesn't really look like a NOLO or an SGAL in the plus factor column. By the way, they're also sortable so that you can see right away, all I have in this race are type 2s, and type 2 pluses are better than a type 2 without a plus. See how easy it is that you can sort by any of these columns as you like. Oh, I remember this race because I was going through some tickets, and this is a race, again, right out of the box. where the 13.8, had patterns, had my odds, and here, I'll reset it. It was just, this will show you, it'll reset to the default settings. There we are. That's what it was. It wasn't much. I did not have this trifecta, but I put a tiny, tiny little bets, $5 win bets and little $1 exacta bets, and took out 900 and change on about $30 in the race. Why? It was late at night. I wasn't interested in betting too much. I had already had a very, very nice day. I was actually showing some of the features to Black Magic to a handicapping magician. And I said, well, look, even if I put little dollar exactas, he wanted to know if you could make serious money with, he was betting off a small bankroll. And I said, yeah, just be disciplined and really pick your spots. So all of the form cycle patterns, and I give a pretty comprehensive review of what all those patterns are and what they all mean. Now, there are some little things I'm keeping up my sleeve. I'm not going to tell you exactly all the formulas that are in here, other than to tell you that they're pretty effective. And as I said, almost everything in Black Magic is at your control so that you can have it the way you would like it. There are record-keeping capabilities so that you can keep your betting records. In the edit menu, you can enter your bets. So here, let's say I put in, I can add a bet, and then I can view my betting records, and it's blank here because I'm working with a new database. But it will break it down in ROI, and you can sort this by track, by surfaces, by distances or the specific distances, by conditions, by the type of race. So you can really get a sense of what you're doing well in and what you're not doing well in, and also keep track of if your ROI is there or not. It will let you also go by any bet type that you've input. So if you said this bet is a win bet or a daily double or superfecta bet, it'll keep track of all of that. You can also set keywords when you enter your bet so that now you can just say, oh, show me keywords. And one of my keywords is, let's say, heavy pressure. I can find all the heavy pressure races. When you download your results charts, it will make automatically for you a track profile. So that if I wanted to see all of the Turfway track profile from November through January, just like that, the track profile shows up. And so now I can see that at Turfway, at a 1 mile dirt on a fast track, this is what the winners showed. So in the first call, they can be from 1 to 8, from 0 to 6 lengths back, 0 to 4 lengths back. Percentage energy is down here, 50 to 52%, fuel size 10. It'll show you whether the winners were favorites. You can look and see race by race how far off they were at the second call, position at the second call, beaten lengths. You can, again, sort these by, let's say I just want to see, it defaults to what the race is today. But let's say you just want to see older horses. So you can take out the 2- and 3-year-olds, boom, and now you get a different look at the track profiles. And again, all of that is done for you automatically. If you want to see the second place finishers, there you go. It'll put those in. Again, this program, and I'm talking fast because I want to show you all of the features, but it just does so much. And as I said, there is a very simplified way of using it, which I call the semi-automatic way, which I take you through in the Black Magic Intensive instructional DVDs. Now, I had to think long and hard, but to protect not only post time, but to protect you, Black Magic is copy protected. So there will be a security device that you will put on your computer. And the program won't work without that security device. Now, it's unobtrusive, it's small. Here's a prototype of one of them. It goes typically into a USB port. And I know it's a bit of a pain, but this is a serious program that I'm asking you to make a relatively serious investment in. Now, I've seen the power of it. I've seen the ability of taking down just amazing races that I found very, very quickly. So I know that the ability to recoup that investment is, I'm not going to make any promises, but let's just say that it's easier than ever. Well, good news, bad news. Sometimes we may be on the same horses because now, instead of just, well, Michael's there late at night and he found this heavy pressure race, Black Magic makes it very, very easy. So I've made it a little difficult to get in terms of the price of the program. I don't want this floating around, so to protect me and to protect you, there's copy protection on it. It's a way of protecting your investment in this, because I think that whether handicapping is, there are very few of you for whom it is a full-time profession. For some of you, I know you're supplementing your income. And by the way, I know you're supplementing your income by using the old TMM. There's a way of setting this up so it'll look just like a super deluxe Master Magician based on, come here, look here, PBS and PPF. Oh, there are running styles. There are new style points based on the queer and speed points. Oh my gosh, there's so much in here. I'm sure I'm not showing you everything. There are turf, Danny Serra's Ultimate Turf ratings and off-track ratings. I almost forgot to tell you, there are 3 new Paceline selection or form cycle window selections. There's a last race for you purists who want to start at the last race, and also in the expert or wizard mode when you're going to take a race completely apart. There's the old LASST from Handicapping Magic. There's 2 Excuse from Handicapping Magic. There's something called WOW, or Wide Open Window. You want to handicap like Ray Talbot? You can go WOW, and as you see, every horse will be open all the way. See that grayed out? That's the horse's window. The one I'm most proud of is the OPM window. OPM is, those of you who have studied my work, obvious horses, poor horses, and money horses. And the whole search is for the money horse. Obvious horses are horses that just had a good race and so forth. Poor horses just had a poor race. Money horses, horses with patterns or some other specific things. Now, you can tell the program, depending on how aggressive you want to be, how to treat the obvious horses. Some like to stick it with the absolute last race. So you can go here, enter in your preferences, and say, go to form cycle windows, treat the obvious horses using the absolute last race. If you want to be a little more generous, LASST. If you want to be a little more generous and treat everyone the same, and I think this is reasonable, set it on 2 Excuses. And there you go. But this is at your ability. I have never had computer software that is able to show me a first glance that's very close to me doing detailed work on a race. Because when I do work on a race, I'm looking for a positioned race, or I'm looking for a portfolio race, and then I'm opening form cycle windows based on whether a horse has certain patterns. This will do it. Patterns, plus factors, all of that is built in, and the opening of form cycle windows will be based on whether a horse is obvious or whether it has patterns in its potential money horse. It will then make an odds line based on that and based on the various biases. So when I tell you this has been 20 years in the working, it has been. And yes, it's been a labor of love. No, I wouldn't trade any minute. Yes, I am burned out a bit by looking at this computer screen for 14, 15 hours a day. But as I said, it's something that I'm so proud of to be able to share with you. I'm not going to just leave you alone with it. There will be something I would urge you to take part in, which is the Black Magic Wizard Support Forum. As I said, there will be a nominal charge for that. I believe that Post Time is giving you the first month free when you get Black Magic, the Ultimate Handicapper. There will be an unlimited and compared to the industry, inexpensive, unlimited data package available for you. Uh, Again, those of you who have Blackmagic and are taking advantage of the Wizards Forum, it really taking all of that data, not that you're going to bet every race, but it will allow you this great opportunity to look through dozens of cards of races, hundreds of races over your morning coffee. I know I've left something out, and I know you have questions. Pick up the phone and call post time. If I'm in the office, if I'm not at the race book or on the golf course, I'll pick up the phone and talk with you about it. It's something that, as I said, handicapping has been by far my favorite game. And this has been a labor of love, something that I would like to share with you so that you can find some of the joy that I have in handicapping. And, well, yes, you know what? The potential profits and all of that is nice. And the ability to supplement, whether it's a means of supplementing an income or creating a second income stream, that's all great. But the ability to do it elegantly, the ability to do it intuitively, the ability to do it with a tool that you know is the best possible, I think is something that will give you great satisfaction. And, you know, like anything else, if you don't like it, I won't take it personally. Send it back. Post Time will send you your money back, and I stand absolutely 100% behind that. But I think you're going to find that whatever expectations you have for Blackmagic, it will exceed those expectations manyfold. I want to sincerely thank you for taking this time with me to get a just brief, quick look at Blackmagic and some of the features. As I said, I've probably left out a whole bunch somewhere on one of these menus. I'm sure I've left something out, but thank you very much. Whatever you do, enjoy handicapping, and until we speak again, I'd like to thank you again for taking this tour with me of Blackmagic, the ultimate handicapper. I want to do a little bonus section on this DVD. I'm going to bring in all the results charts for Saturday, January 12th. Guys in the office said, Michael, you know, when you do these things, you always show $43 horse, $100 horses, all these tickets and everything. How about a normal day where there's a mix of, 5-2 shots and 4-1 shots? And how does the program do at that? Look, Blackmagic is not a black box. Having said that, the odds line set with my presets in my semi-automatic mode does a really remarkable job of giving you a good start. Now, on this day, there are 157 races. Let's look here, 157. I'm not going to be able to get through all of them, but I just want to give you an idea of how powerful this odds line is. On my DVD, it was part of the Blackmagic Intensive series. I go through the settings, and we'll have them sorted by odds. This is right out of the box, doing no work on the races. And we'll do it full screen so you can see. There's the 7 horse of Fulcrum right on top, 713, and that's how they finish. Real prices, but not bad. The program shows the 1-6, there's the 6-1, the 6 horse paid 73. What can I do? That's where it is. And I'm going in order of the time. 8-4, the 8-4 right on top. The missed the 1. The 5 right on top, 3-1. Not a big price. I made a comment that I see so many exactas, trifectas, and superfectas in the top 5. And this is no different. The 174, 417. I would have been betting the 17, but there you go. There it is. Only paid 166. Would probably miss this right. Oh, no, I take it back. The 7 horse is rated second. There he is, $51. Value Tech's got him as one of the Value Tech horses. I'm sorry about those long prices. Here we go. 5 right on top at 640. Let's go. I got to do this quickly. 3-5. They're 3-5, 6-8. 1, 2, 3, 4 right out of the box. 5 was 13-1. The first timers. Yeah, first timers in the race. Don't know if we'll be doing it. I'm going to miss that right out of the box unless I do some work on it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to have the 4. There's the 1 horse right on top at 4 to 1. You got to get around the first timers, but 1, 3, there they are right on top. The 7, 5, going to miss that one unless I do some more work on the race. Not going to miss this one. 9, 7, 5, 11, 4. They're the top 5 horses there. I don't know what this paid, but probably not much. Not much at all. But you know, there are races that they're not going to be much at all. I have a bunch of first-time starters not going to be involved in that race, although the second-rated horse paid $34.40. Sorry about the long price. Can't help it. 2, 3, 2 first-timers right in a row. 3, 4 short price horses, but there they are right on top. This is interesting. Got to show you. 3, 4, 1, 6, 5. And it finishes, of course, 3, 4, 1, 6, 5. That hardly ever happens, believe me. Again, forgive me for going quickly. I want to get through, see if I can get through this whole day. 5 right on top, even money. You know, can't help that. 2 right on top with patterns, nice. 2, 1, 4, 9. Going to have the superfecta again in the top 4. I'm not going to have this race without extra work. It's a 5 furlong turf race, so there you go. Too many firsters, 2 horses right on top. The 7 horses, the Fulcrum, wins the race. I'm going to have this without much more work. The 2 horse, going to absolutely miss this race. Okay, look, I missed a race. Woohoo! And yes, of course you miss races. You miss more races than you hit. 2, 8, 7, 12. Not going to have that 2 without more work. The 5, 4. Can't get easier than this. The 5's got all the patterns. There it is. I'm going to miss that one without more work. This one, yeah, all the firsters, and he's on top. This one, the 7, 3 are second and third. 7, 3, 1. You got the try on, you know, right in there. The 12 is rated third. Don't know. Without much more work, I'm not going to make a comment on that. Tampa Bay, highly pressured. Again, I'm just showing you what right out of the box. There's a 6 right on top. Big deal. Odds on. There's the 2, 6 on the top 4, but I'm first-time starter. Missing this race right out of the box. I want to show you the start that you get with Black Magic with the odds 7, 10, not without much work, although the Fulcrum is in the middle. I would have been all over this 5 horses 6 to 1 and finished 5, 4, 3, 4, 5, 3 rather. The odds-on horse beat the horse I no doubt would have bet. I made one serious bet on this day, and hopefully I can get to there in the next 2 minutes so I can show you. 7, 8, not without more work. The 1, yeah, there it is. I mean, big deal, odds on. But you look, you want to see odds on horses on top. Here's the 4, 8 right on top. The 5 is rated 4th, trifecta. The 6, 9, you're going to have that in the top 3, the exacta anyway. The 4, second rated, there it is. The 1, 2, you're going to have that try on the top 4. 11, not without a lot more work on this race. The 2 horses, 76 to 1, I don't have. 12 right on top. That doesn't impress me. The 5 being second there at 40 to 1, that impresses me. 12, 5, 11, 12, 5, 11. That's got to be a fairly decent trifecta. 829, not bad. Let's go 5, 3. The 5's right on top at 2 to 1. The 3 you can get. 6, not without more work. Am I going to have this 8 horse? The 5, not without more work. 7, 6. So there's 3 races in a row. And then you hit this one. 6, 9 straight. But again, I don't play it this way. Yeah, the 1 entry was rated 1, 2. So, and they finished 1, 2. Again, this one without a lot more work. The 3, 8 are in the top 4, as is the 6, which is a good call. And there's the superfecta 7, 8, 6, 3, 3, 8, 6, 7. I just want to give you an idea. There's a 4, 2. Not going to have the 4 without more work. The 6 is rated second, pays 9 to 1. You're going to have this exacta 6, 4, 1, and the try. The 1, who cares? 1, 2. I get so jaundiced by seeing so many winners on top. 6, 7. Not going to have that with more work. I want to get to that race at Delta. Here's a 3, big deal. 6, 10, 1. You're going to have it in the top cluster. There's the 4 right on top at 13, 20. The 4, 1. You know exactly you're going to have, and 3 and 7. There's a superfecta again. 4, 1, 3, 7. I mean, this odds line is really good, and that's what I want to show you. I'm not going to have this without more work, but the horses are all there. The 2, 4. 3 is right on top, 680. So it'll show you these horses as well. The 2, not without more work. We're looking at the 1. The 4, 2, 6 are the top 3 horses. The 5, right on top and 980, and you're going to have the 3 there third, so you'll have this exacta, which paid really nicely. Again, I hope you're getting a sense of the just right out of the box power of this semi-automatic mode here, right on top, 452. It's not a black box. I promise you it's not a black box, but it does a great job of giving you a good start on the race. There's the 2 horse right on top. The Fulcrum wins and pays 880. 7452, 752. The trifecta's in the top cluster. A lot going on in that race. I'm going to have to take a real good look at the race. There's the 9 right on top, pays 980. 9, 10 you're going to have in the top 3 horses. 3, 6, 9, 10, 3, 6. There's the superfecta. Again, you got 3 first-time starters. Don't want to count that? Fine. Let's go on. USS Spencer. You want to see a horse that wins by 10 lengths at odds on. You want him on top in your odds line. I don't care that the morning line was 5-1. You want this horse on top. There's the 4. Yeah, 2-1. Big deal. The 7, 12 cold. Yeah, big deal. I get kind of jaundiced. I'm not going to have this without a little more work, although top, no, not going just going to need more work there. And with this, even this 8's got all the patterns, but again, I'm going to have to do more work to get that race. If I can get it, sometimes it's flat out miss. They're sharp right on top, 220, oh hum. 4, 9, in the top cluster, 12. You're going to have this trifecta in the top 5. I want to show you, missed that without much. Bunch of first-time starters. 8, 5, not without more work. 5, 3, yeah, there it goes. I'm in the cluster, 6, 4, yeah. 6, 5. I'm going through this very, very quickly. This is how my first look at the race. I haven't even started handicapping. 1, 4, big deal. The 1 wins. The 7 here wins at 760. You have the trifecta and the superfecta in the top 5. The 8 right on top at 460, 8, 6. Missing that without more work. Restless Tixie, 6, 12. Nice number. There you go. The 8, 6, 9, 7. Again, another superfecta in the top 4. And so forth. There's the 1 right on top, the Fulcrum, 1, 4, 5, right in order. Again, not much in the way of prices. That's your job. Here's the 10, 2 in the top cluster. Just let me go real quickly so you can go back, and I don't have much time to fit on this, but 3, 8, 1, 2 on top, 3, 8, 6. There you got your trifecta. The 5, missing that. I want to show you that race at, there's the 12 right on top. 5, nope, not without more work, not without more work. 3 in a row. You just flat out, well, I'm not saying missing. There's still cases to be made. There's the Fulcrum there, and another Fulcrum wins, and 4, 3, 5, 8, another superfecta, no prices. I'm not advocating. I'm advocating this as a first look through. All firsters. Where's that darn horse? It was so easy as the Fulcrum. 6, 2, 3. You're going to have the trifecta in the top 4. Not without more work. 8, 10. Yeah, it's that kind of top cluster needs more work. 9 is right up there. 3 firsters. This one not without more work. This one definitely not without more work, with all another Fulcrum wins. .com or bust with all the patterns right on top. 4, 3, second and third in the ratings, and so forth. But you get an idea. There's 5, 8, top 3. Air Commander I missed. 3, 6, nope. 10 right on top, big deal. 5, 6 right on top. Yeah, that's nice. 5, 6, 2, trifecta. Yeah, I hope you get the point that there is just a lot, and then you can just wait for winner on top. You can just wait for the really good another winner on top. This was the horse, Halo Mary, unpressured race. I looked at acupressure. He was on top. I looked at the timelines. He owned a bunch of the fractions, and there he was. That's when I was there. He paid $14.40. But what I'm pointing out, though, is that in a very simple way of using this, forget about all the bells and whistles, in a very simple way, Black Magic really does give you a great start at handicapping the race before you start using the more sophisticated principles. But you're investing a good amount in Black Magic. It should give you a good start. And I'm happy to say that after a lot of hard work, it does. So thank you for taking this time with me in this 157 races in 9 minutes. So until we speak again, this is Michael Pizzola.